Chainsaw Man 115 is here, but sadly the season 1 anime is finally over as well. We'll talk about the anime in the second half of this video, but for now, let's go ahead and talk about what happened in this chapter and actually cement for the select few of you still doubting the Eternity Devil's presence in the aquarium. Asa mentions how the hallways seem to be endless, but the clock and the clock hands don't move whatsoever. Aki noticed the same thing back in Hotel Marin when they were caught in the Eternity Devil's pocket dimensional space. And yes, I know we haven't seen the Eternity Devil just yet, but is this enough evidence to show to each and every one of you who are still doubting the Eternity Devil's presence? Going back to Asa, fake Chainsaw Man blames Asa for the mess they are in if she hadn't dropped her phone in the previous chapter. However, Asa retorts by saying, well, you're Chainsaw Man, why don't you do something about it? In which he responds, the starter on his chest was a surgical implant. We'll talk about that in a second. Rambling on about the Chainsaw Man merchandise he has, and basically just admitting that he's actually just an otaku. Now, whether this is Fujimoto jabbing at us Chainsaw Man fanatics, or more importantly revealing, is Haruka telling the truth, yes or no? Well, I don't think he's intentionally lying. So the truth bomb he said to Asa about being a Chainsaw Man fan sounds sincere, but then he begins crying in fear, begging for Chainsaw Man to get them out of the situation they're in. Remember the girl Denji saved from the Justice Devil back in the high school? The same girl which I believe Fami is now controlling? I think we're getting something similar going on with Haruka. I believe Haruka is an otaku who joined the Devil Hunter Club out of his own volition, saying he is the closest thing to practically being Chainsaw Man because he's a Chainsaw Man fanatic. However, I think when Fami chooses to, whether it's through the starter on his cord, the power of her earrings, etc., I would still say Haruka is still the one who took out Yuko but isn't aware of it. Now, overhearing the conversation, Yoshida tells Denji, well, that's your cue, save us Chainsaw Man, and Denji tells him he was only able to defeat the Eternity Devil because it came after them, but that doesn't seem to be the case happening here. This Eternity Devil is just playing the patience game, because by not attacking them, eventually, sooner or later, they'll all go out. Yoshida then whips out a phone, although it's revealed the signal isn't strong enough to make a phone call anyway. They've been trapped inside the aquarium for 3 days and time has stopped as well. Again, reinforcing the notion that is this the Eternity Devil, yes or no? Kobeni's brother slash sister seen licking the aquarium mirror, which, you know, that can't be sanitary whatsoever. But more importantly, the interesting line of dialogue people are gonna go crazy over is when Yoshida tells Denji, and I quote, do you think Chainsaw Man would eat it for us, the Death Devil? So what is Yoshida insinuating here? Does he know about the Four Horsemen? Does he know that Makima was the control devil through Kishibe following the events of Chainsaw Man Part 1? It doesn't seem too far-fetched to allude or just think that Kishibe would over time tell people in public safety or the higher-ups and someone like Yoshida he can confine in over the events of what happened between Makima and Denji. However, the more ominous hypothesis I think people now are speculating is what kind of a secret organization is Yoshida a part of, and what is the ulterior motive besides seemingly protecting Denji, right? There's a Twitter account who translates for Jujutsu Kaisen and Chainsaw Man, so I'm gonna read a tweet that I thought was so fantastic. So I'm going to credit them in the description of this video, but it reads, the fact that Yoshida has awareness of Chainsaw Man's ability to erase devils' names, along with casual mention of the Death Devil, could hint his organization's goal related to Denji and is also connected to the Four Horsemen. Yoshida also seemed to have noticed Asa's scars when no one else had. Yoshida is shaping up to be a major character for the future events in Chainsaw Man Part 2, but let's go ahead and hear the theory crafting in the comments down below. Is Yoshida someone that can be trusted? Now, the second half of the chapter seems a bit more lighthearted, brings us back to what we all were foaming at the mouth originally between Asa and Denji. Their date. How's their date going? Well, Fujimoto gives us some quote-unquote alone time with our two protagonist leads, where Denji's like, look, I know you're not doing well. How you holding up, baby girl? Asa's like, I got a confession. I was supposed to take you out, turn you into a weapon. Denji is so out of the loop between what is going on. You'd think he would catch on to what she's saying, but I would also understand why he just like so confused at what she's also relaying as well, right? Like, what are you talking about? Turning me into a weapon? You don't want some fish, but how about a starfish? And the starfish is alluding that Denji, one, did in fact pay attention to what Asa was saying earlier, even if he was annoyed slash bored by it. The look on his face when he whipped out out that starfish to give to Asa resembles the expression that Denji was giving off to Reze when he handed her the flower during the Bomb Girl arc. So it seems like we're seeing the beginnings of a blossoming relationship between both characters. So I'm really excited to see where this development will go, but it seems like Yoshida definitely stole the spotlight referencing the Four Horsemen. Now, talking about the anime real quickly, I just want to mention how Himeno, they really added an emphasis on Himeno's character, and I'm really glad they made that a focal point for Aki's character development and the emotional momentum leading up to the conclusion of season 1. Even with the cigarette Himeno's ghost handed over to Aki, I thought that was beautiful. And the fact that they finally teased us with Reze talking about the country mouse and the town mouse. But unfortunately, there's no season 2 announcement for the anime, and if they didn't say it in Jump Fest a few weeks back, there is a Chainsaw Man exhibition I heard they're going to do in February, so hopefully we'll get more details there. But something is telling me with MAPPA's busy schedule in 2023, I don't think we're going to see Chainsaw Man Part 2 until early 2024. Many of you have jumped over to the manga side, which I'm also really excited about. So many of you are jumping on board with what I have to say, so thank you for trusting me and just putting up with my antics for Chainsaw Man Part 2. But if you want to see exactly what the Chainsaw Man Season 1 anime was all about, you're going to want to click on this video right here.